grief changes us so much because we've gone from this plan that we thought was going to happen to now life being totally thrown up in the air with no plan. And this new me in so many ways. And how do I creatively get in contact with who this part of me is and what do I need and how do I put that together? So let's reframe things or look at things in a different way, which is about grief and about trauma and about big picture things. Hey guys, it is Mel from Mel Ryan 100% You, and I am jumping on for our weekly update. It's the last week in May. Crazy how fast this year is going. I have really had an amazing week, and it's nice to say because it's been such a big journey for me in moving through such a big change in my life. And I can really see the shift in how I'm working and what's happening with clients in the changes and the shifts that they're making. And it's been such a great week of celebrating that and being able to share that with so many people and be part of it. So it feels really good and really strong to allow life to take us where it needs to take us, and I'm here for it. So the first exciting thing that happened is I have a beautiful relationship with CFS Health, and Toby Morrison does such an amazing job in really inspiring it and holding space and teaching anyone with long-term COVID or fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue amazing program in how to support themselves and their healing through that journey. And so I've been a speaker there a couple of times, but this week I was a guest speaker on grief, which is such a huge topic for people. And it's not just grief in losing a loved one, of course, it's grief in when life doesn't go the way that we plan. And it's allowing ourselves to be able to experience that. Society has this unsaid rule that we need to be strong and not be a burden and get over things and not upset people and pretend that we're okay. And it really dismisses the journey that if we step into grief and we allow ourselves to not just grieve, but to become the person we are after we grieve, because we're changed. Grief changes us so much because we've gone from this plan that we thought was going to happen to now life being totally thrown up in the air with no plan. And we don't know how to make sense of it. And then we have to pretend we're okay, or we're only allowed to grieve for a short time. Otherwise, we're stuck or something's wrong with us or all of that. And so I had some pretty strong and amazing analogies that I use. And it really hit home. The comments that have come in are so inspiring, and I love the way that connecting with people where they can see that perspective to go, hey, I didn't realize that grief could be such a beautiful part of my journey if I not only allow myself to experience and feel grief, which it's not to be stuck in it, it's just to let it be part of us because it is such a big part of our story, but then also be able to see, who am I now? What's this version of me? I'm this new me in so many ways. And how do I creatively get in contact with who this part of me is and what do I need and how do I put that together? So that was such a privilege to do. And I know that I touched so many people's lives in that, and I'm forever grateful for being able to speak, and to be a keynote speaker and to run workshops where we really hold the space for people to take a topic that we've done all our life in one way, to reframe it and get a new perspective of how we can shift that into being something that really helps us self-empower ourselves and learn more about ourselves and find that depth. So it was amazing, and I'm super excited to do more of that, of course. So if anyone needs anyone to speak about something, please give me a shout out. I'm here for it 100%. So that was my exciting week. The other thing that came through this week is there's a real awareness with people I was working with is returning them back to their stories. So lots of people came in talking about other people and what's been going on in their life, but it's in direct relation to partners and loved ones and friends. And it's interesting because things have shifted in their self-awareness, and this is such a beautiful thing of knowing ourselves. But it's knowing that we're revisiting something that we're working on, but in a potentially a less complicated way at times. So it's, why are we going back to this scenario where, you might have a child that's moved back home, or you might find yourself going through the same financial situation or the same emotional situation that you've been through before. And it's like, why am I revisiting this pattern? But if you think about it, you're different. There's less intensity. There's a way that while you might have had to hold the responsibility because that person wasn't capable or younger or something was different, we're revisiting that because in the way we're allowed to let someone do it the way they need to do it, and we're more there as an observation and a tweaking, but we're not knee deep in the mess anymore. And so being able to see people evolve and change and learn and be working on themselves, and it's been really quite powerful for people to realize that I'm actually here in my life, and the people that are around me are also doing their life, and it's their way, but they're doing it and it's okay, and they're revisiting what they need to revisit to be able to free themselves for that. So I found that in quite a few people coming through. There's another thing that I am going to talk about, which is about collective consciousness, but I'm going to do a different video on that because it may go for a little bit longer than our weekly update. So keep an eye out for that, because I'm going to record this at the same time and put it up in the next few days. Lastly, in my beautiful, exciting news, I have put together, when I've had my beautiful healing journey of trying to unpack why has this happened to me and what's going on in my life and what do I need to understand and learn and let myself shift into, which was resistant and also embracing at the same time, I have learned so many different things and had such a really deep awakening in being able to make sense of things that I do, and being able to then explain a little bit more about how you can connect with what your story is and how important it is for us to be there for ourselves. And it's, if we leave nothing else to the world, it is our ability to know and understand ourselves, which is probably the most powerful tool that we have. And so being able to fine tune that and really understand that, that's what I've been that's all that's been coming together for me over the last 3 months. So I'm going to run a workshop next Wednesday night, which I'm super excited about, which is that it's returning to self, but it's like, what was the universe trying to tell me? And while sometimes I think we unpack ourselves, in using that as an example, it's going to open the door for you to go, hey, let me put my story alongside your story and let me try and work out me at the same time. And of course, there's room for questions and all of that. So it's not just me being like, hey, guess what happened? It's me intertwining that into, hey, let's reframe things or look at things in a different way, which is about grief and about trauma and about big picture things. And so I'm super, super keen to run that. So that will be Wednesday night. It'll be 7 p.m. It's a little bit earlier than my normal workshops. And there'll be links and stuff to all of that this week. So I really hope there'll be a replay, but I really hope you join me, because this is such a beautiful new direction that I'm going with, and I'm really super excited about it. So that is me this week. So keep tucking yourself in, keep working on yourself, keep trying to find answers where you need. Come back to what feels right for you and trust yourself, and book in for my workshop, and I will see you all next week.